Καλησπέρα σας. Προχωράμε με το Infrastructure και Connectivity, το οποίο είναι το τελευταίο πάνελ του Thessaloniki Summit 2020. Είναι ένα πάνελ το οποίο θα εστιάσει στις υποδομές και στις μεταφορές. Θα προτιμήσω από εδώ και πέρα να μιλήσω στα αγγλικά, καθώς φιλοξενούμε εξέχοντες ομιλητές. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers that gave me the opportunity to be in this panel, to be the moderator of this panel. As I said in Greek, we have not only ministers, but also people from the industry and from the banking sector. And first of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Ioannis Kefalogiannis, Deputy Minister of Infrastructure and Transport of the Hellenic Republic. Mr. Kefalogiannis, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation.
Then the President of Black Sea Trade and Development Bank, Dmitry Pankin. Mr. Pankin, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Very happy to see you and to hear you.
And the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Thessaloniki Port Authority, Mr. Franco Nicola Cupolo. Mr. Cupolo, good afternoon also.
Kalispera. Good afternoon, everybody.
Kalispera σας. First of all, I would like to give the floor to the Minister, Mr. Kefalogiannis, for the initial speech of 6 to 7 minutes. Mr. Kefalogiannis, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Diamantidis, and good evening to all. And thank you very much for the invitation to participate in the Thessaloniki Summit. And I really hope that next year we'll have the opportunity for a real summit with no distancing constraints. Greece, as you all know, is located in the southern end of the Balkan Peninsula. And this is the main reason why we strongly feel we have to continuously upgrade the quality of the infrastructure in the country. Meaning, it is both our business and responsibility to facilitate commercial activities and open up tracks along with the free movement of people and goods among the three continents where Greece actually stands. As you may know, Greece has adopted the National Transport Plan, which comprises a network of interconnected trains, highways, ports, and logistics centers, ensuring thus mobility and accessibility. This plan covers short-term actions to be taken by 2027 and long-term ones by 2037, and depicts our vision in the sector of infrastructure and transport. Upgrading the road and rail networks equals to better conditions for freight transport, a sector that is of primary importance for the national economy. Furthermore, we introduce intelligent transport systems in this sector as we aim to optimize B2B services, minimize cost, and establish the conditions necessary for the sector's growth. Special emphasis is laid on the rail infrastructure, re-engineering which is seen as a tool for connectivity that creates added value to the mobility for enterprises and citizens. With a view to accomplish our vision for Thessaloniki, we design projects and work on three main axes. The first axis includes vital and long-term public rail works with a view to connecting Thessaloniki with the adjacent major ports and countries. In particular, substantial maintenance of the existing line Thessaloniki-Alexandroupolis and design of a new one, a new route, Thessaloniki-Kavala, with connection to the existing one. Construction of the new single electric line, a study for upgrading the existing one. Joint strategic investment plan is being developed for the connection between Greece and Albania. The second axis focuses on creating added value for enterprises by upgrading the rail line that connects the sorting station of Thessaloniki with the town's freight terminal and the port, establishing further connection of this line with the port's sixth pier, establishing the rail connection of our national rail network and infrastructure with the industrial areas and leading oil corporations like ECO and Hellenic Petroleum SA. The third axis comprises projects to strengthen the safety of railway infrastructure and enhance citizens' mobility, such as the renovation design of Thessaloniki's passenger station, the construction of level crossings and new bridge for pedestrians, which will connect the municipality of Thessaloniki with the municipality of Ambelokipi Menemeni, the construction of 2 new rail bridges on Gallikos River, and the integration of command, control, and signaling systems. At the same time, road connections in northern Greece are improving and upgraded. The contract for the connection between the 6th pier in the port of Thessaloniki, Pathé, and the Egnatia motorways and the industrial area of Kalofori has been concluded. On top of that, more projects are underway in northern Greece. Road connection between Egnatia motorway and the port of Alexandroupolis. Road axis Drama Amphipoli that will connect Drama with Egnatia motorway, and road connection between Mavrovouni and Edessa, which is part of Thessaloniki-Edessa National Road. By the end of this year, 2020, the studies for the connection between Polygyros and Uranoupolis are scheduled to be completed. It is a project that will make road trips in Chalkidiki easier, faster, and safer. Let us also not forget the flagship project for the runway expansion in Thessaloniki Airport, Macedonia. The new expanded runway will serve 89.6% of the existing aircraft, as opposed to the current figures, that is only 22.6%. In the transport sector, major projects such as Thessaloniki Metro and Thessaloniki Flyover are underway. Our goal is to enhance the largest city of northern Greece and turn it into the capital city of the Balkans. After a long do-nothing period, the Thessaloniki Metro project is back on track. This is the way to showcase that the city's cultural history. Today, we work towards a solid target that service is launched in 2023. The 13-kilometer long flyover project, that is the new eastern section of the inner ring road in the city of Thessaloniki, is a flagship project as stated by Mr. Kostas Karamalis, Minister of Infrastructure and Transport. We're talking about ring road upgrading works from Papageorgiou Hospital to Thessaloniki, Moudania Junction, which, while it should be also pinpointed, that is a civil engineering infrastructure project with eye-catching structures such as the 3.9-kilometer flyover bridge, 8 new bridges, 3 tunnels, 1.8-kilometer long, and 9 grade separated junctions. Last but not least, let me say a few words about the upcoming bill on sustainable urban development plans and micromobility. We establish simple rules and a single framework to encourage and urge local government authorities to get access to financing tools for programs on public transportation, walking routes and cycling paths, and road safety, accessibility for all, city, urban logistics, and ITSs. Let me also remind you that a single e-pass for all motorways in Greece has been launched since last Wednesday. The future lies with smart mobility solutions that save time and money, improve connectivity, and reduce environmental footprint. That is why the driving force in all legislative initiatives in the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport is to pave the way for the new technological reality in the transport sector and not lag behind developments. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Kefalogiannis. And now I would like to give the floor to the President of Black Sea Trade and Development Bank, Mr. Dmitry Pankin. Mr. Pankin.
Thank you, Dimitris. Thank you for taking the opportunity to participate in this panel. Of course, you know, infrastructure now, this is a difficult topic to discuss. With curfew, with no flights, no driving between different cities, it could be kind of not real to talk about a new project. But nevertheless, I think, first of all, we have a lot of experience in our member country with infrastructure project. And what we see now, we see that a lot of countries have a huge demand for financing small and medium-sized company. Please help us to provide some money for hotels, for restaurants. So this type of business they have more problem now. But still, infrastructure projects are not stopped. It could be maybe some delay, some postpone, but still in all our member countries, we are continuing providing finance for infrastructure project. Maybe now we could say a little bit that it will be shift from, let's say, physical infrastructure to virtual infrastructure. I mean, first of all, the digital communication. You see how important now digital communication. All our work now is digital. Our Thessaloniki summit is digital. So you see situation. So project in this telecommunication, digital connection will be very important. If we are talking about role of multilateral financial institution in financing infrastructure, I think now we have some new feature. First of all, let's see what is the situation in the market. Market are overflowed by money. Huge monetary supply by European Central Bank, by Federal Reserve System. We see interest rate. Greek government can borrow using negative short-term borrowing, negative interest rate. It's ridiculous, frankly speaking. 10 years government bond, less than 1% interest rate. And that situation, again, what's the role of IFI? Because okay, we can provide money, but if money could be borrowed from the commercial, from the real market with interest rate less than 1%, again, what's the role for IFI? Why our authority, private partners need IFI? I think here we are speaking a little bit new role of IFI. First of all, if we're talking about infrastructure project, everybody need to understand that this project should be well prepared. Well prepared, it means not only feasibility study, but all social result of this project should be assessed carefully. All environmental, climate assessment should be done. This is now will be maybe major job of IFI to provide all this type of service, because all participants in infrastructure project should be aware, should be sure that everything is done correctly. So it will be no kind of serious problems that something was calculated not correct and everything going wrong. This is one part of story. Second part, I think all infrastructure project, this kind of partnership between between government and private sector. Major question is how risk will be sharing between government and private partners, who will take different type of risk. And in that case, I think multilateral institution, International Financial Bank, could act as a moderator, because we are like neutral. We are not part of government. We are not part of private sector company, and we could again provide more or less neutral judgment for participation, for condition of infrastructure project. I could give you example of Sofia Airport. For example, 2 years government of Bulgaria tried to initiate Sofia Airport project, and result was nothing. because again, government changed. It was not well experienced people preparing all condition, all legal document, and finally, after 2 years, Bulgarian government invited international financial institution, EBRD, IFC, in order to create all condition, all provide all feasibility study, all necessary legal change in legislation, and after this project went successfully, and now we hope we will be participating in that project. So I think again, with this pandemic crisis, life is continuing, and we cannot say that infrastructure projects are stopped for some years. For our bank, we are planning to provide around 700 million euro to finance a new infrastructure project under medium-term strategy for 2021-2022 years. And I think what will be again important that we are planning for next year to start our technical assistance fund, because especially when we are talking about municipal entity, what's important, they have no money to prepare feasibility study, to have right climate, environmental assessment, and this type of money provided by international financial institution could help them prepare a good project, and later on this project could be financed by our bank or by other financial institution. So again, thank you, and all good luck in this actually environment, in this lockdown.
Thank you, Mr. Pankin, and I would like now to give the speech to the Chief Executive Officer of Thessaloniki Port Authority, Mr. Franco Nicola Cupolo.
Thank you for having invited me personally and to represent the THPA, the Thessaloniki Port Authority, in this very important panel, having focused on such an important and strategic aspects in support, especially in these revolutionary times we are going through. The role of the infrastructure, the role of connectivity, the role of the ports infrastructure, it is more and more pivotal to ensure the non-stop the flow of trades, the free flow of cargo in and out the community of Thessaloniki, the rest of Greece, and in a broader terms for the Balkans economy, Thessaloniki plays a pivotal role. Geographically, the position of Thessaloniki, it is strategic, sitting in the southern Europe, part of the pan-European corridor number 7, connecting through Thessaloniki the rest of Balkans and beyond Central Europe. It is a market of potentially 25 million TEUs of cargo that is primarily moved through the Northern European port range. Now, since the global economy is traditionally moving from the South Hemisphere to the North Hemisphere, namely from Far East and Middle East and South of Africa to North, the Mediterranean itself play a strategic role in the transfer of this important quantity of goods. What happens nowadays is that it's clear that we, as a Thessaloniki, have the possibility to change this historical flow of goods that penetrate the Mediterranean and move through the Gibraltar Strait to go to North Europe and then to be discharged, to then be connecting the markets in Central Europe and the Balkans from north. It is evident that the natural point of entry for such a market is from Thessaloniki. And notwithstanding the situation and the revolutionary period of time we are living today, I think that this is reinforcing the importance and our commitment in ensuring to be efficiently in support of this global shift of the economy from the traditional northern range ports to the southern European region ports. As such, Thessaloniki is committed in delivering in its vision the development of the port as the main point of entry, the main gateway for the markets in Greece, in the Balkans and beyond, in Central Europe. The mission is to ensure to create an efficient and reliable system of logistics and transportation in order to expand the connectivity, the hinterland of the port of Thessaloniki into the Central Europe in a radius of distance of up to 1,500 kilometers. How to do that? How to deliver this? We are committed in delivering this through a sustainable manner. Along the pan-European corridor, the rail connection and infrastructure plays a crucial role in ensuring the delivery of this strategy. By doing this, we will be able to offer the markets and the Greece economy with an unsurpassed and service in supply chain, reducing the transit time, reducing the cost of transportation, ensuring the competitiveness of the end-to-end process, both for the imports as well as for the exports. What are the pillars of this strategy? There are mainly 6. Connectivity, so expanding the hinterland by ensuring that through the efficiency of a railway infrastructure, we are able to connect markets previously not connected to and from Thessaloniki. This entails a commitment from our side in investing in new infrastructure, both on the marine side, in the expansion of the Pier 6, as well as on the land side, in creating a network of railway infrastructure in support of the development of railway connection. The road is also playing a decisive role, and I like to outline that also the development of the Ignazia and the finalization of this important project is going to play also a crucial role in helping us delivering this strategy. Technology and innovation, it is another important element. We are moving more and more from a commoditization type of industry in the port industry to a digitalized type of industry. The old image and vision of the port workers being mainly undereducated, it is surpassed. Nowadays, the port is on the verge of the modern technology. Our staff consists of a multinational Greek and European group of and team of managers and employees. They're all well and highly educated, and the technology is exploited to the maximum extent. We are committed in keeping developing along the line of digitalization, because this is the future of the economy. This is the future of the capacity, our capacity to deliver a better service, an end-to-end service for the cargo. During the COVID, we have been firmly committed in ensuring the port working efficiently and in full safety for the people, to ensure that the flow of cargo, vital and crucial in this pandemic situation, will flow without interruption. The other pillars are the need of increase and attract main services, the shipping line services to and from the port of Thessaloniki by creating and finally delivering the expansion so long waited of the Pier 6. And finally, also on ensuring the operational efficiency of our processes and the optimization. We have to be able, we are committed in delivering every day better service and in response to the request of more and more demanding customers. So eventually the port itself is changing the footprint. As from 2018, we are private, and we are now engaging in an ambitious and consistent, strong plan of development following these 6 main pillars. Just to give some more numbers, in the next 5 years, we'll see our management and our shareholders committed in developing the 5 years business plan, which will consist in investing over 260 million euros, which will be consisting in expanding the famous Pier 6, as well as renovating the rest of the infrastructure of THPA. THPA is also playing an important role, not only on the containerized cargo market, but also on the conventional, being the first port in Greece for such an important commodity, as well as reaffirming our commitment in developing the cruise business, and to be able then to support also the touristic development of Thessaloniki and in a wider area of this region of Greece. So finally, we will follow and we will be strongly committed in developing Thessaloniki and transforming the port of Thessaloniki to become the major gateway for the Central Europe. So in this way, we are convinced that we are going to provide the markets of the Central Europe, the Balkans and Greece, with unsurpassed service quality that eventually will translate into an enhanced competitiveness of the goods and of the transportation of these markets vis-à-vis other markets around the world. So we are then committed in developing in a sustainable manner the development of the port of Thessaloniki, knowing that only through the railway connection we will be able to achieve a sustainable development consisting of reduction on CO2 and a more efficient and faster connection. Not least, more importantly, our people. Our people is the center of the project. There are no success in any company without success of the people, which are part of the company. And we are proud to be able to have a strong team of committed and ambitious people that will be driving this development strategy. So the port, in a few words, is not only an industry itself. The port, especially of Thessaloniki, is a port community because it's so connected to the city of Thessaloniki that any action influences directly the city and vice versa. This creates in us a strong commitment in delivering a sustainable growth, knowing and being aware and conscious that all the actions we will do, they are not only in support of a better return on investment for our shareholders, but first and foremost for the community. We hope and we are working to expand, to create this community wider and wider. And the only way to achieve this is to extend the internet, to expand the internet of the port of Thessaloniki. So I would like to, at the end, thanks for having given the possibility to participate in such an important panel with such esteemed colleagues. And I'm here for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cupolo. And now I would like to see all the attendees of the panel so as to have a short conversation. First of all, I would like to ask the Deputy Minister of Infrastructure, Mr. Kefalogiannis. Mr. Kefalogiannis, how do you think that the investment climate in the terms of infrastructure and connectivity is affected by the pandemic crisis?
Mr. Diamantidis, I would like to be very honest with you. The pandemic will not stop the public or private investment sector. And to the contrary, it's an opportunity to attract cash from the recovery fund spent in the public infrastructure, mobility, smart mobility projects. We believe that these opportunities are both ready and to size. The pandemic does not mean that we cancel investment. It's just a challenge for reorientation towards new or different priorities. And at this point, let me say to us that our strategy is search with the Western Balkans perspective of new areas of collaboration in the sector of transport facilitation, rail and road corridors and multimodality, namely the integration and use of railway infrastructure in a broad area of the Western Balkans. And in relation to the implementation of flagship projects, allow me also to highlight the Pan-European Corridor X that runs between Eastern and Western Balkans, as well as the corridors that interconnect coastal regions. And in conclusion to my answer, I think it's high time that we are optimistic. That is that we prefer to see the glass as half full than half empty. And we will keep on supporting and boosting public infrastructure and transport system investments in Greece. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kefalogiannis, for the answer that gives us the amount of optimism we want for the period that is ahead of us. Mr. Pankin, how do you see the role of development banks in financing health infrastructure projects that are crucial in periods like this? Mr. Pankin, if you'd like to open your...
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, clear. Thanks. Financing health project now, it's kind of fashion if I talk about IFI. So, for example, we are financing several health projects in Albania, in Turkey, in Bulgaria, one project. I think, again, typically, of course, this is a more private type of project. In European country, if I'm talking about Turkey, this is a public hospital, like changing whole system of public health system in Turkey. Actually, very interesting project. We are working on this project with World Bank, with EBRD. So again, I think we could see as a health system as a part of infrastructure. And if we are talking now that it is necessary to make some kind of change in structure of whole infrastructure approach, in that case, it will be less financing road, less financing airport, but more financing kind of new hospital, new health facility. And again, a major problem and major question in financing health project, what will be risk sharing between government and between private sector? For example, in Turkey, government is guarantee all revenue that will be generated by customers of this hospital. So this approach, of course, is very favorable, very important for private participants. But again, it from other side, it's bring additional expenses on government. So question is to find right balance between these players.
Thank you, Mr. Pankin. Mr. Cupolo, what are the investment goals of Thessaloniki Port Authority? I am asking this because you are participating in tenders for the ports of Alexandroupoli, Kavala, and other ports in Greece. Tell us something about these participations in these tenders.
Yes, what I can say, thank you for the question, first of all, that helped me to clarify the strategy set forward by our shareholders. As we are committed in developing the port of Thessaloniki, as I also emphasized earlier, it is crucial for the modern ports to be connected to a deep and complex network consisting of other ports, of infrastructure, inland terminals, railway and road connections, and logistics areas and zones. And we are committed in developing all this because there is no other way to be able to serve the modern markets made of globalization, made of vertical integration in the supply chain, than having the possibility to offer our customers a wide variety of service, which is not only the traditional discharge and load of the traditional ships, but is offering the possibility to transport the goods up to the door of the customer, to be able to transform the cargo on its way by opening the containers, by offering a multiple variety of services, because it's the only way eventually to be able to serve the modern economy and in support of the rest of the economy. So our strategy is then to integrate to the maximum extent all the available ports and logistics centers, because it's the only way. There is no competition between ports. In a well-functioning integrated network, all ports, all the inlands, all the countries connected through these systems can only benefit from having an integrated range of services. And for this reason, that notwithstanding...
Mr. Cupolo, there is no competition between Thessaloniki and Piraeus port.
We don't believe so. We believe that we can both play a complementary role, because the market we are looking at is a market that goes beyond the traditional border we are used to consider, being Greece. We are the gateway for the rest of the Balkan countries. We are the gateway for the rest of Central Europe. As I mentioned before, to give some numbers, about 40 million of TEUs are entering the Mediterranean every day to then exit the Gibraltar Strait and go north to be discharged, and then eventually to be discharged a few kilometers away from our houses. This makes no sense, because it increases the cost of transportation, it increases the pollution, it increases the transit time. So we believe that for the first time in history in the Mediterranean, over the last century, again, thanks to the, I would say, the long-term strategic view of the Hellenic government in promoting the privatization, this has helped changing the traditional way of the supply chain, thinking that Northern European ports could connect the Balkans or Greece. Nowadays, thanks to the private investments in Thessaloniki and Piraeus, both ports will be able to offer a vast variety of service to an immense market, in which there is no competition between us, because it's such a big market that we can play a decisive role in supporting each other in a way. So we don't see competition. We believe in a port system fully integrated to be able to play a role internationally, which is not only to improve the return on investment for our investors, but also for him to be really in support of the economies of Greece and Balkans, etc. As such, we have already, apart from the 263 million that we are committed in investing in the next 5 years, thanks to the business plan which has been approved by the board of directors this summer, and that we are engaged in developing, we can announce that we have already invested in Bulgaria. We have created our first inland dry dock terminal beyond the Greek territory. For the first time, a Greek port is investing and creating a network that goes beyond the natural border of Greece. Because we believe in this integration, because we believe this is going to create a benefit for the economies of Thessaloniki in the first place, but for the economy of Greece, evidently, importantly. And this investment is in addition to the amount we are considering. So we don't think there is a competition. The market is so huge and big that the only way to attract this market is to play a complementary role. So there is no competition. we can contribute to the development of the infrastructure, but not only of Greece, the rest of Europe. And Greece in such a field is much more advanced, allow me to say, I come from international experiences in other ports, than any other Southern European port, whereby the port authority are still public, so there are still problems with lack of infrastructure, lack of investments, and not a dynamic and digitalized approach to the customers. We, as a Thessaloniki, I speak on behalf of Thessaloniki, I cannot speak on behalf of Piraeus, we can deliver because we have solved all the issues in order to be able to definitely for Thessaloniki to play a decisive role to become the gateway for such a huge market in front of us. So there is no competition. I think the market is big enough to be able to compete with other ports that, in our opinion, our competitors are in the Northern European range of ports. Ports like Rotterdam, Hamburg, Bremerhaven, Antwerp, those are the natural competitors of our ports. And I think that in this, let's say, challenge, in this competition, Thessaloniki alone cannot succeed if not in part. Thessaloniki and the rest of Greece and the other ports that we are committed in, we are interested in, will play a complementary role in being able to provide the right demand, the right support to the demand of the customer that really want to serve their markets from southern Mediterranean for a number of reasons. Of course, from an economical reason, because they look for cost reduction, but also in transit time reduction, but also because this will allow us, them and us, to show and display a more sustainable supply chain, because we will shorten the distances and we will use less CO2 to reach the markets.
Thank you, Mr. Cupolo. And I would like to thank you, all of you, each one of you, for your contribution on Thessaloniki Summit 2020. Thank you very much and have a good night.